to talk today about recitation, which is called The Child's Art by Charlotte Mason because of Arthur Burrell's book, Recitation, The Child's Art. And it's one of our favorite times of the day, and it's one of my favorite things to plan for. And so I wanted to kind of share a little bit about that. And so recitation, the idea is that it is learning how to speak beautiful ideas beautifully. And so we work on intonation, and it's not a time to be dramatic with your voice or your body, but to read something in a way that moves people and to get familiar with the author's intent and ideas. And so each term, my older daughter will do 4 days of recitation for about 10 minutes a day. And on Monday, she'll do a psalm. On Tuesday, she'll do, for 6 weeks of the term, New Testament, and for 6 weeks, Old Testament. And then for Thursday, we'll do poem, and Friday, she will speak a hymn. So she's using each one of those days for 12 weeks to practice the vocabulary, practice even understanding the meaning of the pieces. And so I'm going to just share a little bit about what that looks like for us. And I don't know how to turn this around, so you're going to have to bear with my inability to use technology. This is our notebook. She has a binder, and I just found this in the Ambleside group, and our composers and our artists. And so it's kind of just a pretty cover. And then she's going to have a schedule. So her schedule is going to tell her all the things that she needs to do. And I'm guessing that's backwards, so I'm sorry about that. But she can it's like a quick glance. And then the rest of the binder is all of her pieces in page protector. So she can just take them out of the 3-ring binder. So on Monday, she's just going to grab that psalm. And on Thursday, she's going to grab the Lady of Shallot. And then this was a nice one from the Ambleside files as well, the hymn. So she has all of those put into the notebook. And I can just quickly tell you what she's doing. She's going to, the 3 different terms, she'll do Psalm 46, 67, and 33. And then I took the scripture readings from our Bible readings. So it'll be Mark 1, Mark 9, and 1 Samuel 2. And then Joshua 1, Luke 2, which is our Christmas, will be our Christmas recitation, and Acts 2. And we're just doing about 12 verses in each one. And then for poetry, Tennyson, Dickinson, and Wordsworth are the poets. So we will do Lady of Shallot, just part 3. So it's only 40 verses, 40 lines. And then you can also do Shakespeare. So we're going to do Hamlet, To Be or Not to Be, instead of a Dickinson poem. And then for term 3, we'll do Characteristics of a 3-year-old and When the World is Too Much by Wordsworth. And our hymns will be Blessed Assurance, Carol of the Bells, and There is a Fountain. So those hymns will be spoken so that she can be working on enunciation and pronunciation, and even something as simple as standing still and straight and fidgety and volume. So there's a lot to work on when you are in those 10 minutes. We usually read the piece through once. Sometimes it's twice, but a lot of times I will read it first several times, and she's listening, and depending on the length of it, maybe she'll try it, and we'll stop if there's a word she doesn't know, or if she's missed a word or gone over something, skipped over something that is important in terms of the way that she's pronouncing her words. So once she feels pretty comfortable, we can also choose a different piece if it feels like she's got it, especially with the Bible verses. Some of those can take a little bit longer, and some of them can be a little bit shorter. So there's some flexibility in there. Now, she actually learned how to read by doing recitation about 4 years ago, through Psalms. So for us, it worked for her to look at the page and speak. I would say the word and point to the word, and then would look at the whole line together, and then she would say it. And so that's one way to do it. You can also just read it over several times to your younger child, and then have them repeat line by line. So again, it's not a long lesson, it's 10 minutes, and these are good and beautiful words and ideas that really sink into your child's heart. And that's why I love recitation, because they become like old friends. So for example, when we are going to read Joshua 1, Annabella will already have been meditating on this for several weeks, and then it's like an old friend that she's going to meet there. So I love that. And my younger daughter will also do have a similar notebook, and hers is slightly different because she's still in Form 1, whereas Annabella is in Form 2 now. So Form 1, you choose a psalm, you can do a parable, or some about six verses in a Bible verse, a Bible passage, and then 2 hymns and 2 poems. And so I have some classic poems that I love my girls to be familiar with, and so I've chosen those for her, especially because we've already looked at Stevenson and A.A. Milne quite a bit in our co-op and just in our home throughout the years. So she's got some really fun ones. Puffin and The Cupboard by Walter de la Mare, which she'll study in year 2, so that will be fun for her to hear that again in a couple of years. So I am going to put some great links for further reading in your in the comment box, so you can check that out. But I would definitely encourage you to make a plan and to find some things, and maybe you're studying in history, you're doing, the Constitution, or you want to decide to recite the preamble, and you can put that in there. There's all sorts of different ways that you can structure this. I am just following what the Delectable Education ladies have put in the consult plan, which I have loved all their resources. So that happens to be the schedule that we're following, and what they've been able to glean that Charlotte Mason was following. But you can choose any. Monday can be whatever category you want. But I think just having that plan and printing things out and having your binder ready and easy, and the page protectors have been great for us, because we often, if someone's done early with breakfast, they'll get to do that. They'll get to work on their recitation. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them, but I just wanted to kind of show how we choose and go about doing recitation in our home.